Ready? Okay.
Okay.
Before we got called to lunch, we were on the last part of the opening 9 chapters here, which was Lady Wisdom inviting us to her house. Right? I think we were through chapter 8. We were at verse 34. Am I right about that? 30. Yeah. Well, skip to 34 then. So 8:34. Happy is the man who listens to me, watching daily at my gates, waiting beside my doors. For he who finds me finds life. That's a great line. I mean, for understanding wisdom. He who finds me finds life and obtains favor from the Lord. But he who misses me injures himself. All who hate me love death. So now again, notice we aren't really eating any wisdom yet too much. We're mainly hearing exhortations to want wisdom, to seek wisdom. But we haven't really gotten to the meat, other than the many references to adultery, and I mean that's been in these instructions. They've been mainly admonitions to desire wisdom, and then there's been references to avoid the Dame Folly and her twin sister, the loose woman, the strange woman. Okay, so when we get through chapter 10 begins the Proverbs themselves, and that's where wisdom is to be found. This is more kind of an exhortation to it. Okay. I want to make sure I broke off. Now I remember. We read that passage about personified wisdom helping God with creation. Do you get that? Are there any questions about that? My takeoff into Arius was really unnecessary, but it was huge in the early church, believe it or not. Again, I don't think the author of Proverbs was thinking of Jesus at all. He was thinking of Lady Wisdom. But as in the coming of Christ, in his speaking about his nature with the Father, these verses were referenced because, like Lady Wisdom, you'll see references to Christ as personified wisdom. Jesus himself is, in a sense, a personification of all of this stuff as well. You see that in New Testament writings. Jesus was a wisdom figure. He spoke in Proverbs and in exhortations and offered an alternative vision of life. So you can see where the words that come from Lady Wisdom can be put on Jesus' mouth. And you go, oh yeah, that's another way of thinking about it. But again, I don't think that the author of Proverbs was thinking about the coming Messiah. He was thinking about personified wisdom. Now, but I beat that up again. Any questions about that? It will resurface. It will resurface both in Job and it will resurface in, maybe not Job. Surely in Wisdom and in Sirach. There is a further, this chapter comes back and is kind of amplified. It was a favorite evidently. So, chapter 9 is the invitation to 2 banquets. The wise woman speaks first, and then Dame Folly speaks. So it's kind of like, have I ever spoken about the 2 ways? Judaism morally thinks in terms of 2 ways. Do this or do that. Okay? The wise man does this, the fool does that. Either do this or do that. So, and that's a very common way for Hebrews to think about the moral law. This road leads to life, this road leads to death. Well, at the end of this 9-chapter introduction, the author portrays these 2 women, each inviting the students to dine with them. Okay? So it's like the commercial mercy. Make a choice. Who are you going to choose? Chapter 9. Wisdom has built her house. She has set up her 7 pillars. She has slaughtered her beasts, mixed her wine. She has set her table. She has sent out her maids to call from the highest places in the town. Whoever is simple, let him turn in here. To him who is without sense, she says, come, eat of my bread. Drink of the wine I have mixed. Leave simpleness and live. Walk in the way of insight. Then comes the foolish woman. Look at verse 13. A foolish woman is noisy. She is wanton and knows no shame. She sits at the door of her house. She takes a seat on the high places of the town, calling to those who pass by, who are going straight on their way. Same words she uses as wise woman. Whoever is simple, let him turn in here. And to him who is without sense, she says, stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he does not know that the dead are there, and her guests are the depths of Sheol. Okay, so the point is, the author is trying to sum up in these 2 characters. Again, think of like adolescent men, okay, highly sexually charged, thinking about finding a spouse. Their teacher is going on about wisdom as this wonderful, wonderful woman. But then there's another woman who is Dame Folly, who is the strange woman, who will lead you astray, who will get you killed, One offers life and prosperity and success and wealth, and the other offers stolen bread, stolen water, death. So, boys, which one are you going to sign up for? Yes. So, comments or questions?
Sounds like that folly would be more fun.
Shit. That says more about you, Dad. No. So, I mean, it's good. Norma says, no, she's not good. So, what have we seen here? What have we done so far today? We haven't really got our teeth into wisdom yet. We've been reading about wisdom, or thinking about it. That was the first lecture. How wisdom functioned. And then chapters 1 through 9 is this very grandiose preface or introduction that lays out to try to make the choice obvious. That there are 2 ways, and the teacher is going to give you now, beginning with the Proverbs of Solomon. Now you're going to be able to bite down on this and not be seduced by other things that look to be life-giving, but are not. Again, let me make a kind of a, this week we read, was it Tuesday? Daily Mass, we read the Beatitudes. The Beatitudes are a kind of wisdom writing. What does culture say? What gives life? What do all of us I'm projecting. What do most of us as children think we should pursue to find happiness? Well, money, pleasure, praise, laughter. If we just get more of those, we'll be content. Okay? I'm sorry, power. So it's power, pleasure, wealth, honor, praise. How many Facebook friends I have, how many houses I have, how much good time, how many people I control. Think about it. That's what, I think instinctively, that's what we seek. Jesus says, blessed are you who hunger, period. Blessed are you who weep now. Blessed Blessed are, I'm trying to think of the 4 Beatitudes in Luke. Blessed are those who hate you. Blessed are you who are hated because of me. I mean, what Jesus does in the Beatitudes is he contrasts himself with those 4 things, with power, pleasure, praise, or honor, and wealth. He says, with me, we're going to find a whole different direction. Those things are not what we're seeking. We're seeking something different. So, Jesus, in his Beatitudes, contrasts the 4 basic goods of philosophy with his vision of the kingdom. Here, the teacher contrasts what looks, as Dan said, more fun, but in the end does not lead to life. And now, having been all fired up about it, now we're going to begin to read the book of Proverbs itself. If there are no questions, we will go to our small group. Okay? Careful, the power is on here. Oh, here she comes. Okay. Power is on, so be careful what you say, Yuli. Don't be swearing on your breath. You get picked up on